All right, welcome back to another episode of Beer, Bacon, and Bros. Tonight we got Alex, we got Chris, we got Keith. We're going to jump into the halfway point review of college football, some of our surprises and obviously disappointments for this season, and of course our halfway prediction on who's going to win the Natty. So before we jump into that, make sure you hit the subscribe button for us. Totally free to you, means a lot to us. Welcome to the family. If you're clicking that button for us right now, make sure you like the video and help it become more popular. And of course, hit us in the comments, give us your opinion. As you know, we'll get back with you. So halfway point right now, week 7. I think we know pretty much what we got and what we don't probably from some of these teams. Mm-hmm. But I guess go ahead and start off with the biggest surprise and biggest disappointment for yourself.
Honestly, I would say I'm surprised at how kind of down the SEC is compared to previous years. I mean, Alabama has had some close games. They have already lost one. Georgia has not been as dominant as what people expected them to be. I mean, they are 6-0, but they haven't played very well in some of the games they've played. And honestly, the last year of what we know as the Big 12 and the Pac-12, some of those teams are actually looking very surprising. When you've got Oklahoma on a resurgence from what they were last year, and Texas being what everybody thought they were going to be. They did come off that big loss to Oklahoma, that big loss, but that tough loss to Oklahoma. But that proves that they're still the two powerhouses of that conference. USC should have lost to Arizona the other day, but they've proven that their offense can go toe-to-toe with anybody. And Colorado, I think, has been a big surprise too in the Pac-12, just because of them being able to do what they've done, beating TCU to start the season, getting that big win against Colorado State, in overtime. Those are some of the surprises, some of the downs, I guess, outside of the SEC being down. I don't think we were kind of surprised by Clemson being what they are right now. They've already 2 losses.
Yeah, top 10 team to start the season.
Top 10 team, and they were out after week 1, or week 2. So, week 1. When they lost to Duke, and they were gone.
Week 2, when they were 25th.
Oh, that's right, and they struggled against Charleston Southern, and then they got booted out.
Yep.
I think the surprise team in the ACC right now is Louisville.
That's actually
they've been one of the big surprises for the season so far.
Yeah, that's my surprise team is Louisville. I've been very we always have to keep your eye out with the transfer portal on some of these teams that do really well or do really bad, then bring in a high profile coach. Wisconsin, Colorado, Louisville. I think all 3 fell in that category this year. I think Wisconsin's been pleasantly happy with the way they are. I don't think
they've not been elite, but they've definitely been better than they were last year. I agree.
And I think Colorado, had the peak, then leveled out, dropped down a little bit. Now they're kind of like here, right?
I think they're going to come back up a little bit. But
Well, yeah. I mean, when you beat Arizona State by a touchdown, that's not a whole lot.
That's not a lot to say. No, I agree.
But I think Louisville's been the big surprise, right? The big win over Notre Dame, undefeated, in the rankings. I'm with you. The SEC Big Ten, kind of down a little bit this year. 3 ranked teams in the Big Ten, only 6 right now for the SEC. 3 for the Big 12, and you look over at the Pac-12, all of a sudden there's 7
every single team
ranked over there. So I don't know that I have a disappointing team. I guess LSU to me has not lived up to the hype of what they should be. They've had a good season. They're 4-2, but
they've been in some really big close games that they shouldn't have been close.
Yeah, right.
I mean, losing to Florida State, they got blown out in the second half.
Yep.
Losing to Ole Miss when neither team could figure out how to defend the pass in that game.
Nope.
And they barely made it past Missouri after being down Missouri 20-0 or 17-0 in the first quarter.
Yeah.
I mean to come back and beat them 49-39.
Yeah, that's the big thing, right? I mean the pick 6 late made the score look better, but
than what the game actually was.
Really,
it was 42-39 before that pick 6.
Yeah.
So
those 2 would be my surprise and disappointments.
My big surprise is going to be definitely Louisville. Wasn't expecting them to come out and be as good as they are, performing at the level that they are. And then Oklahoma knew they were going to be good. Wasn't expecting them to come out and just be dominating their matchups right now.
Especially since they've only allowed 56 points all year, which is actually They gave up 30 of that to Texas.
They've allowed 84 on the year. So
I'm looking at conference. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So conference play, 30 of that came from one team. So they've actually done fairly well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the down for me, I would say, is the SEC. Like a lot of the teams aren't performing to the level I was expecting and was hoping for.
No.
Another down I would say would be Miami running a draw on with 30 seconds to go and then fumbling that draw
Yeah.
and losing the game.
Yeah, that's still early. So, if you had to pick a winner at the halfway point, who do you feel like is going to win the national championship? I can switch over. Right?
I'm gonna go Michigan.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, I like how Michigan's looking at. Michigan has looked very dominant. Penn State's look good. Now they haven't played each other yet, so we will know that until November to see who's going to come out of that. But yeah, I like Michigan, and actually with the way Oklahoma just played, I like Oklahoma to at least make it to the semifinals, if not the final.
Yeah. Man.
With the way they played it against Texas, I mean they came out guns blazing, ready to go against what everybody assumed was going to be a Texas win.
Yeah.
Because Texas on paper had the better team, but Oklahoma came out and just played their hearts out.
Yeah, I think Texas obviously gets the rematch with them in the Big 12 championship.
Yes.
Right? I mean, obviously right now West Virginia is sitting at 2-0 in the conference, but it's still early.
It's West Virginia too.
I like I like the final opportunity of getting somebody different than Clemson, Alabama, Ohio State, LSU, Florida State, and Georgia, right? And it's been those 6 teams since 2009 that have won the national championship. So I like an opportunity here for Texas. I like an opportunity for Michigan. Sleeper for me, Oregon. I think Oregon's looking quietly looking really good on their side, and they're the one in the Pac-12 that can actually play freaking defense, right?
Yeah, they're the ones that can actually go out there and stop USC from scoring 45 points a game.
Yeah, so and Oregon played in a national championship just 10 years ago. So for me, I think this is a sweet opportunity to see an Oregon team actually take it to the next step. Now, do I think Bo Nix can actually lead them to a national title? We'll find out.
Well, I don't know if he necessarily has to be the key component in that. I think the offense as a whole is well rounded enough to be able to go to play in a national title game, and their defense is good enough to be able to propel them or get them to that spot as well. Yeah. So I don't think Bo Nix has to be he's not Marcus Mariota. He's not the reason they're getting there, but it's the team as a whole that's getting there, or has the potential to be there, I should say.
Yeah. All right. Any final thoughts? Halfway.
No, I think
all right. So hit us in the comments. Let us know who you think is the biggest disappointment and biggest surprise of the 2023 college football season. As always, like, comment, subscribe.